save this hatchery, which really could have meant a lot if he's able to keep it alive.
Yeah, doing pretty good Mutalisk harassment as well, picking up quite a few Marines to try to hold as well as he can. And Fantasy, we're going to see what he actually tries to push again, engaging those Mutalisks, killing one of them off. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lurkers are actually going to move in lots of space for them to bury. Now, there is that one turret where he's going to not going to be really help him out there because not nearly enough Marines. One Lurker does go down before all those Marines are killed. And then the other side, Fantasy meanwhile is going to go for a break here. He's going to have quite a few medic Marines. He should be able to definitely has enough to take out all these Sunkens. All the Sunkens go down. All the drones being pulled off the line. So he's definitely going to take out that hatchery. But on the other side, you got to look at the fact that Luxury is also killed, or at least stemmed the flow from Fantasy's own natural. So this slightly equalized situation there, although quite a few more forces here lost on this side by Luxury. He's lost quite a few mutas trying to defend. He's lost everything, all of his Sunkens, a bunch of Munos lost to that. Now commands are being floated off where he should be able to be repaired. A lot of Marines falling to these Mutalisks. Just wonderful Mutalisk micro there by Luxury. Now focusing a little bit on the cannons, just trying to catch as many SCVs as he can in. As he flies around, should be able to kill any Marines that actually pop up as they get out of those barracks. He has two bunkers there with Marines inside trying to defend, and those Lurkers are going to see whether they actually manage to penetrate that because there are SCVs repairing that. Meanwhile now, tanks are going to be on the way. We're going to see whether that's going to help Fantasy actually break out from the situation because he's not in a too good position. Luxury still staying on those two bases, getting a bunch of more workers. We're going to see whether he actually gets them in time to penetrate. I don't see any science vessels at this point yet from Fantasies. That's definitely what he's going to need. Hive Tech, actually. 2-base Hive Tech from Luxury. I'm not sure whether he's re-establishing the bottom right yet or not. He should definitely establish another base. He's going to need it. Even if he has Fantasy on the ropes on only one base, he's definitely going to need some more if he wants to really help support this. So I'm expecting Defilers alongside these Lurkers as well as some Cracklings. He's probably just going to go for the killing blow there. He's going to try to finish this off before this game goes way too long on.
Yeah, I have to say, even though Fantasy was denied mining from his natural for such a long time, and still is, I still think he has a very good position in this match. As you saw, he does have a decent amount of tanks, which he's using to take out those Lurkers right now. And as long as he can get his Marines and Medics back up to a decent number, I think he'll be just fine. As you can see, he already Maynarded his SCVs out to that natural. And here comes another attack now from Luxury. And if Luxury can move in with this force, which looks like it will be enough, he could do a ton of damage. I think he needs to attack now, though. There's only a couple tanks in a bunker. If he moved all his Lings and his Muta and Lurkers in, he might have been able to do some damage, but instead he's going to play it safe. And a dropship now coming from Fantasy, and if that dropship gets into the main, I'm not sure there's a whole lot there to defend it, and that could really be ugly for Luxury. Right now, Fantasy and Luxury pretty much even, I gotta say. The only thing that's working more in the favor of Fantasy than Luxury is that they're on the same amount of bases, which really, in being a Zerg player, is not the position you want to be in. Although in a low eco game like this, if you can pull some tricky stuff off, and there we see the third going up finally, it can be very nice, and Defilers are on the way, so I think what he's going to do is try to do an early push into Fantasy's base with Dark Swarm.
Yeah, on the other side, Fantasy's actually going to go for a dropship, and that is going to be spotted by those Overlords. We're going to see whether he moves force back. He's moving all of his Zergers actually backwards. He's going to pop a few Marines right behind the middle line, or there are some Zergers to meet them there. Going to pop some other forces on the other side. Going to try to catch everything off guard. Going to start attacking by that gas. Of course, if Fantasy manages to deny gas, it's really going to help him out. Meanwhile, second Evolution Chamber coming up on Luxury as he's going to fly in with all this Mutalisk and those Zergers. He's going to kill all these Medic Marines. So not too successful drop there from Fantasy. He's trying to get some economic damage going because he knows if he can just keep economic damage going, he's going to take a huge advantage. Meanwhile, getting a cross of barracks. That's 5 barracks. Now Defiler on the field. Scan going off on those Lurkers and spotting the Defiler as well. Gonna get Dark Swarm. Lurkers are going to burrow under it. They're just going to be able to push in, take out these forward tanks. Going to force another beautiful Dark Swarm again. The Lurkers just going to move in into a close proximity. Going to be able to just do a crap load of damage, forcing the tanks backwards into positions where they're not as successful. Going to see whether the Cracklings are going to move out now. There's going to be that another Dark Swarm from the back with Cracklings and Mutalisks going to move out, take out the Medic Marines there as well as the tank. Science is now finally out, and all the Mutalisks do actually go down, but there are Lurkers there, still Cracklings on the field. A bunch of these Marines are going to get slaughtered, and the tanks are all going to get taken down. Fantasy is now in a lot of trouble. Lost most of his, if not all, ground forces. There are some Scourge in there. I'm not quite sure. Luxury hasn't killed that Science because it was in perfect position to do that. But now again, Cracklings and all Lurkers, I believe, alongside moving in as well, and he has some Firebites that help defend. not going to be too successful. All the Scourge don't manage actually to hit the Science Puzzle, but now Lurker's in such huge trouble for Fantasy. Lurker's penetrated, doing a lot of damage. More reinforcements coming on the way for Luxury. He's actually doing a lot of damage, trying to take out, now denying the secondary again, taking out so many forces. Now Fantasy is actually putting a little bit on the back because he has to do some damage, especially with these Science Puzzles. 2 Science Puzzles in there. That's the only advantage he might have, trying to do a drop on the Luxury side, but there are, I think, enough Zerglings there in position to take that out, because as soon as those medic Marines come down, they're instantly going to get killed by that quite a large amount of Zerglings there. So, wow. Yep, all going to get cleaned up. So Fantasy now is the one catching up. Amazing.
Well, actually, that'd be Luxury who's catching up. I gotta say, Luxury, I think, like I said, really was still in the game. It was pretty even back a while ago, and he just, I think people underestimate how hard it is to use swarms as beautifully as Luxury is. It is a very difficult spell to use efficiently and correctly and get the timing down, and those were just perfect swarms. And it, like you're seeing, he's moving into the main right now, and once he gets up to the production line of where his units come out of, this game will be over. So I think we see Luxury is going to take down Fantasy, and this will indeed move into a Game 7. I really can't see anything that Fantasy could do at this point. He's just pushed all the way back in his main. He has no expansion. Luxury is now running off of his second expansion, and this is the position he wants to be in. He's got all his tech, he's in the main, and this should be over any moment, really. I can't see this going on longer, and there we go. GG from Fantasy. Well played by Luxury. Gotta say, he is just turning out to be such an amazing Zerg player and taking down Fantasy, so now we're going to get to see another game, Ranson.
Victory by Luxury against Fantasy, rhyming with the best of the Zaba. Right, so Game 7, and we're gonna have Luxury and who I'm gonna assume is gonna be best on the other side. I think that's pretty much the only choice that SKT1 have, since they exhausted the choice of Bisu very early on. So we're gonna see overall. You could be like, do something fun, push Boxer out there. Ah, why not? Nah, kidding. So again, the mascots of KTF gonna run around, pose, bitch and whine, and go, yeah! So, great play overall by Luxury. Just, really, I'm not quite sure how Fantasy lost that. I think just, Luxury, this is the type of player. I love him. I always say this, and Luxury, I love the guy specifically because of his timing. The guy has timing, which even Jaedong, I don't think has that timing. That just Luxury somehow just gets at the exact correct time and kills everything. So GG guys, this is going to move on to a final game, and that is going to be awesome, and providing death somewhere, Kenny Casting will join me once again. So GG guys, Ranch and gone. Out. Capiche.